Okay, I'm going to have a look at an inverse floater to see what it is and how it works and what we might use it for. So first of all, an inverse floater is effectively a way to go short another rate. So I've made an example here. So in this example, a bond fund or some kind of bond investment fund, could be, for example, PIMCO or this kind of thing, is seeking to boost yields. It has $5 million to invest in a particular product. What they do, they lever the return by borrowing another $5 million, pyramiding this onto the initial amount using short-term borrowing at a cost of LIBOR 0.5%. And then they invest the whole amount, the principal plus the leverage, which produces a $10 million total investment. And they invest this in corporate B-grade bonds yielding 4% at the time of purchase. And of course, once you purchase them, the 4% yield to maturity is fixed. So the overall cost of the position is the $5 million borrowing times LIBOR 0.5%, which is equivalent to 0.25% cost on the total invested amount of $10 million. Since only half of the $10 million is paying interest. So 0.5% of $5 million is $25,000 on an annual basis. And the yield of the position is the yield of 4% on the total $10 million invested. So $10 million times 4% gives us a yield of $400,000 per year, an 8% yield on the initial investment of $5 million. So I've got capital employed, 5 million, leverage employed at a cost of LIBOR, another 5 million. So I'm investing 2 times my original capital. The cost of capital on the total 10 million is 0.25% because we're only paying 0.5% on 5 million, which is 25,000. The yield is 8% of the original 5 million because it's $400,000. So what we're partly ending up with here is we've got a fixed yield of 8%, and on the other side we've got an inverse floater in there, which is partly a short position in LIBOR. So if LIBOR increases, our cost of capital will increase, reducing the net yield. So if we have a look here at the inverse floater we've created, we could create this product, we could package into an exchange traded note or some kind of bond package, and the coupon on this package would effectively be the 8% yield on the $5 million minus minus our LIBOR expense, which is the 0.5% times 5 million, which is costing us $25,000. So in effect, right, so the 25,000, that's 0.5, got a mistake here, but anyway, so based on the 5 million capital, the $25,000 is 0.5% of our capital. So we're going to deduct here 0.5. 8 minus 0.5 is 7.5%. And the rest is correct. So the fixed yield is 8%, fixed at the beginning of the investment. We're earning 8% on capital employed. The borrowing is variable and it's based on LIBOR. So if LIBOR increases, our return will fall. So if LIBOR rises to 1%, 8 minus 1, this will fall to 7%. If LIBOR falls to 0, for example, 8 minus 0 gives us 8% net yield. So we've got a leveraged return relying partly on on low LIBOR interest rate, and we benefit the lower it goes. In this respect, it's an inverse floater because the floating rate affects us in an inverse way. We earn the inverse of the rise or fall of the floating rate.